Coming up on SUTV, we'll tell you about the SUSA's election results.
And we'll let you know about the Polynesian Club Showcase. Stay tuned.
Welcome to SUTV News. I'm Matthew House.
And I'm Jenna Chapman. SU's Polynesian Club wrapped up their annual showcase. Our reporter Bailey Dyer has more with last weekend's performance.
Southern Utah University's Polynesian Club hosted their annual showcase last weekend. The show's theme, Wayfinding, was chosen to honor their ancestors who traversed millions of miles of open ocean. They paid tribute to and acknowledged their sacrifices and efforts to shape a world where their descendants prosper.
Allows each of us the opportunity to take each of us back to our own roots and to really showcase what our cultures are all about. And despite the different cultures, I think the showcase allows everyone, maybe outside looking in, to be able to see that there's unity in all of it.
The show featured performances from Hawaii, New Zealand, Tonga, Tahiti, and Samoa. The songs and dances highlighted distinct cultural traditions from each island, with club members having backgrounds from across the Pacific. The exciting music and dance enticed the crowd and several audience members to join in the festivities on and off stage. The Polynesian Club will continue to embrace their culture while educating and helping people from different backgrounds to understand their culture and history.
I mean, each island and each culture is very similar, has its origin and roots, but we're all pretty similar in a way, which makes it unique and special. And I think it'll be a fun time.
For SUTV News, this is Bailey Dyer.
Week is Delta Psi Omega's Philanthropy Week. The group is raising money for Primary Children's Hospital. On Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the Sterling Church Auditorium, representatives from different clubs will be competing in a pageant. The group will also be collecting donations at a table in the mall from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. all week. For more information, visit Delta Psi Omega's Instagram page.
The newest members of SUUSA are preparing to be sworn in. SUUSA election results were announced Friday in the living room, and the outcome was unsurprising. All the candidates ran unopposed, leading to a clean ballot sweep by the Peak Party. The new SUUSA Executive Council will be led by Demia Lamar, SUUSA's first African-American female president. Other EC members include John Baker as Vice President of Clubs for the second year in a row, Johnny Zilgett as Vice President of Academics, and Caleb Paulson as Vice President of Finance. The complete election results are posted outside the SUUSA offices in the Student Center.
The public lands debate is always going on in Utah. Last week, the Michael O. Levitt Center hosted a panel about the controversial topic. The panel discussion focused recent political controversy surrounding ownership, size, and use of Utah's public lands. Washington County Deputy Attorney Celeste Malloy for Washington County talked about land ownership.
And I work in public lands policy. So we had a lot of conversations over the 11 and a half months between the creation of Bears Ears National Monument and the changing of the boundaries. That night, the headlines, depending on which sources you go to for your information, were either the president stole your land or President Trump turned the land back over to the state of Utah. Neither of those things is true, not even remotely true. It was BLM land before it was a monument. It was BLM land while it was a monument, and it is BLM land today.
The panel discussion went for 1 hour where panel members answered questions from the Levitt Center and the audience. Color Country Bureau of Land Management District Manager Diamed Mosin shared why he feels that public lands and their management is important.
Public lands are really America's best idea, and really one of these treasures that we have that we all need young people like you to be aware of and get more involved in. And I'm looking forward to talking to you about that for the next time.
There's a lot of construction happening around campus right now, and it is affecting the way students get to school. Our reporter Savannah Palmer has the story.
Cedar City residents and SU students are not strangers to construction zones.
More than new apartments and schoolrooms, there are effects of these construction zones that are not being talked about. Citizens of Cedar City and SU students are finding that debris on the roads is frustrating for them and their wallets, not to mention a hazard on their safety.
Twice in the last 3 weeks, I have had a flat tire, and the same tire, I've had to get it replaced, whole new tires. I know one time because of a screw stuck in my tire, and the other time, I don't know what caused it, but I know that it was bad, and I'm sure it has something to do with all the crap that's on the road.
A few days ago, I was driving down to the campus, and I went through a construction site. And then a few hours later, I had a completely flat tire. It was this tire right here. And it was because of all the debris from the construction site that I'd run over.
Hopefully, by bringing these issues forward, there can be measures taken to protect drivers and pedestrians from the hazards of careless debris on our roads.
Ellen DeGeneres, Cheerios, and Chartwells are creating 1 million acts of good here at SUU. On Wednesday, students prepared 300 boxes of non-perishable food with positive messages. Heather Garcia, the first-year experience coordinator, said the student involvement was overwhelming. All of the boxes were complete in only 1 hour. The boxes are going to be delivered to the Hope Pantry, the Women's Crisis Center, and the Iron County Care and Share.
We are 4 days away from spring break, and many students are looking forward to their week-long holiday. Our reporter Autumn Tasai has the story.
A lot of students are busy because this week is midterm. They have some tests, and that means spring break are coming on next week. SUU will have a relaxed 9 days for students. How to plan on spring break for students? SUTVNews has more.
Well, for spring break, I'm probably just going to stay around here. I'm going to probably keep studying Chinese so that I can prepare myself when I go to China for.
If you didn't plan anything, don't worry, you can go to outdoor engagement. They have a hiking trip for students.
Have a spring break trip offered from March 10th to March 13th during the week of spring break. And it is mountain biking and camping over in Moab, Utah, which is about 5 hours east of us. And it'll just include fun trails to go biking and like camping overnight and super fun company and friends to be around.
I'm taking it the week after spring break, so I have a lot of studying to do, and I'm also going to try and job shadow a few doctors, so I'll be following them around and seeing what they do on their daily life.
If you're interested in the trip, you can go to outdoor engagement. They will ask you a question for SUTV Dream Time.
Coming up after the break, we'll talk about the recent visit from Mitt Romney.
And later we'll fill you in on the Utah legislative session. Don't go away.
If you store your guns properly,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of melanoma, the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Cancer will strike more than 175,000 kids worldwide this year alone. The likelihood that teens and young adults will survive cancer is far greater when treated by pediatric oncologists. Survival can depend on experts in childhood cancer and collaborative groundbreaking research. To learn how you can help keep these kids in play, go to stbaldrich.org/inplay or standuptocancer.org/pediatrics.
It is the final days of the 2018 legislative session in Salt Lake. Lawmakers have until midnight Thursday to finish all of the over 1,000 bills that were proposed. Earlier today, the Senate approved a bill which would allow terminally ill patients access to medical marijuana in the last 6 months of their life. The legislature has also passed bills criminalizing the murder of a police canine and replacing the Philo T. Farnsworth statue that currently sits in Washington, D.C.'s Statuary Hall with a statue of the country's first female senator, Dr. Martha Cannon, who was from Utah. A bill that would have temporarily halted the lowering of Utah's DUI limit to .05 until more research could be done failed. Utah's new DUI limit will take effect on New Year's Eve 2018.
Utah's legislative session is getting a lot of national news attention, but not because of the bills being passed. Last week, the House of Representatives released a video parodying the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's theme song, explaining how a bill becomes a law. The video has over 35,000 views on YouTube and 264 retweets on Twitter. The video was aired on CNN as well as several late-night shows. Last night, Jimmy Fallon featured the video on a show saying, "Just when you thought Utah couldn't get any wider." Other Utah organizations have gotten in on the joke, including the Salt Lake Health Department, which tweeted BRB, labeling this as a public health hazard.
Mitt Romney visited SUU 2 weeks ago as he continues his run for Utah Senate. SUU students and faculty lined the hallways waiting for a chance to meet former Massachusetts governor and current Utah Senate candidate Mitt Romney. Romney announced his candidacy earlier this year when longtime Utah Senator Orrin Hatch announced his retirement. Romney took pictures with students, faculty members, and student leaders. Romney is expected to return to SUU later this year for a more formal Q&A to give students the opportunity to ask important questions.
I think it's important for us as to listen to our politicians and also to ask them a good question about our societies and our country.
Students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School have been back in class for a week. The United States Congress also returned to session last Monday. Both the school and Congress are feeling the effects of the February 14th massacre that killed 17 people. Since the shooting, survivors have taken to the streets and social media calling for stronger gun legislation. President Donald Trump has lobbied for a few ideas, including raising the age for buying assault weapons and incentivizing teachers for being armed at school. In the wake of the shooting, gun rights advocates have criticized law enforcement for failing to act on multiple reports that the shooter posed a threat due to his mental instability.
Nearly a week after a UN Security Council resolution calling for peace in Syria, conflict is ongoing. The resolution called for peace on the region of Ghouta, an area outside Damascus, but bombing continued through the weekend. Last Monday, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered a daily 5-hour break in the bombing, but there are still no signs of peace. In the 9 days since the bombing began, more than 560 people have been killed, many of them civilians. Ghouta, a suburb of the Syrian capital of Damascus, has become a rebel stronghold during the Syrian civil war.
Up, we'll let you know what to expect in this week's forecast. Don't go away.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome to your Cedar City weather report. Today's weather forecast is brought to you live right here at the desk. Although Cedar City experienced a cold snap at the beginning of the month, spring is finally arriving in the festival city. Right now outside, there's plenty of sunshine with temperatures reaching the upper 40s. Continuing on into the week, expect temperatures to climb into the 50s and even to the 60s by the end of the week.
Looking ahead into the weekend, temperatures will continue to remain above average, but increasing cloud cover may bring in cold rain and/or snow by Sunday. For those who are planning on heading out of town for the weekend, be wary of the roads traveling back to town on Sunday evening. Hey Colton, what's next in sports?
Coming up on SUTV Sports, we've got the Olympics, SUU basketball, and an exciting game featuring a future T-Bird. Stay tuned.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Hello, I'm Colton Warren, and welcome to your local SUTV Sports. The SUU men's and women's basketball teams find themselves in Reno for the Road to Reno Big Sky Championships. Unfortunately for the women's team, they took a loss in the very first round against the Idaho State Bengals 49-59. The women's team shot 17 out of 51 shots, overall 33%. Hopefully that can turn around next year for the head coach, Chris Botcher, and the SUU women's team. The SUU men's team will also play against Idaho State tonight at 6:30 local time. SUU has a record of 5-13 for this conference season standings, while the Idaho State Bengals went 9-9 in conference play, 3 places above SUU's current spot. Make sure to go and watch the T-Birds tonight at 6:30 on Pluto TV. With the SUU basketball team playing in Reno for the Big Sky Tournament, future players Harrison Butler and Josh Cornish were playing in their respective tournaments in high school. Cornish and Dulaney High were eliminated in the third round of the 4A playoffs in Maryland. Cornish, however, was named the Baltimore County Player of the Year. Butler was playing in the Southern Section Open Division Championship game for Mater Dei High in California against the 17th ranked Sierra Canyon Trailblazers. Starting off, Butler got to work early with a nice up and under move. A little later, he collects his own rebound and pulls off a circus shot for 2 more points. Later, Butler hits the 3 to give the Monarchs a 17-9 lead early in the game. He finishes the game with 12 total points. He then shows off his court vision, kicking the ball to an open Michael Wang. Harvard Comet Spencer Friedman shows his range with a 3 ball, giving the Monarchs a 23-13 lead. A couple possessions later, Friedman hits the tough lay-in to give the Monarchs a 10-point lead. But Sierra Canyon refused to quit. Kenyon Martin Jr. drives in with a nice Euro step, then gets a nice pass from Dwayne Washington Jr. for the alley-oop. After Scottie Pippen Jr. misses the layup, Martin cleans it up for yet another dunk. Then it's Martin again getting the pass from Pippen and finishing with the foul. Martin would hit the free throw, tying the game at 37. But the Monarchs refuse to quit. Friedman finds Wang for an open three. Then Friedman shows off his range again with this deep three ball. Then somehow gets the ball this off-balance layup to fall. He would hit the free throw, giving the Monarchs an 8-point lead overall. But the 17th ranked team showed just why they are ranked that high. Cassius Stanley and Martin Jr. would lead the way on an 8-0 run to tie the game up at 52. The Monarchs went to their playmaker late though, as Friedman would hit the mid-range jumper to give Mater Dei a 2-point lead. After free throws by both teams, Sierra Canyon had one last chance in the game into overtime. Washington just misses the shot, and Martin can't get the tip to fall at the buzzer. Mater Dei won the Southern Selectional Championship with a final score of 55 to 53. The SUU Gymnastics' last home meet was against the University of Washington. Autumn Jorgensen and Karen Gonzalez of SUU had two of the highest scores throughout the meet, with Jorgensen combined total of 39.375 and Gonzalez getting a 39.35. The T-Birds came just short in the end, with the overall scores being SUU 196.075 and Washington being 197.075. The T-Birds have one more meet before the Mountain Rim Conference Championship against Utah State on March 16th. The conference championship will be held on the 24th here in Cedar City, Utah, the America First Event Center. The 2018 Olympics Winter Games are in the record books. The Games saw a few milestones this year, including the most events and athletes at the Winter Games. Norway came out on top of the medal count with 39 medals, 14 of them gold. The United States finishing the Games with 23 medals, 4th place overall. In the final days of the Games, the U.S. women's hockey team took gold over Canada in a sudden death penalty shootout. The women's cross-country team and men's curling team also brought home gold for the first time in each sport. The next Winter Games will be taking place in 2022 in Beijing, China. That's all I've got for you today. Join us for this Thursday for a full half hour of national sports on Pardon Our Take, and back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about BSU's Step Show.
Stay tuned.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Hi, I'm Special Agent Diana Berrigan from the TV show White Collar. Did you know that it wasn't until 1972 that the first female earned an FBI Special Agent badge? Now women are helping solve crimes around the world in faraway places like Sarajevo, New Delhi, Lagos, and Tbilisi. To all our women fighting crime at home and overseas, thank you for keeping us safe. Happy anniversary.
We are officially in the Chinese Lunar New Year, and SU's International Affairs Office hosted a celebration. Ushering in the Lunar New Year of the Dog, students from around the world participated in the party. Thursday, international students presented traditional songs, dances, and fashion, and International Affairs Office also served their take on traditional Chinese Lunar Year food. The showstopper of the event was a lion dance performed by international student ambassadors to the delight of the crowd.
In celebration of February's Black History Month, SU's Black Student Union put on its annual step show. The event showcased the African American traditional step dance combined with hip-hop numbers. The BSU step team was joined by SU's hip-hop club and other dance teams from the Vegas area, including AMDOT and the Marintic Kids. In addition to dancing, students also presented spoken word poems. BSU member Rachel Train shared her thoughts on racism and equality.
We also live in a society where people like me are made to fail. They put blocks and mountains and empire buildings, everything that they possibly can in front of us, and say, okay, now jump. When I say jump, you say how high. Jump. Jump. That wasn't good enough. Jump.
To learn more about BSU and their activities, students can visit the Center for Diversity and Inclusion.
There are just under 2 months until tax day, and SUU accounting students are offering free filing for their fellow T-Birds. The Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or VITA, is open to all members of the community who make less than $54,000 per year. The students who prepare the tax returns are IRS certified. The program gives the students experience while helping community members have a pain-free tax season. The group meets every Tuesday through Thursday from 5:30 to 8 p.m. on the second floor of the business building. For more information on the program and what documents you need to bring, visit suu.edu/business/VITA.
A change to zoning laws around SUU has some community members upset. Our reporter Grace Schultz has the story.
The downtown Cedar City skyline may soon look a little different.
I'm not opposed to change. I'm not opposed to growth.
Much to the dismay of its residents. On February 7th, the Cedar City Council passed a city ordinance creating the Southern Utah University Housing District.
Well, if we had some kind of a zone where we had a high density district, then that would help, I think all of us, would help developers, it would help the university.
The new zone changes the way apartments can be built around the university in a way that neighbors don't support.
I don't feel like tall buildings are the answer.
Buildings within the SHD can now be built 50 feet tall rather than 35 feet, and parking lots need space for only 70% of a building's residents rather than the previous 85%.
My concern is they go forward and do this proposal. It will be multiple apartment complexes next to each other with inadequate parking.
Councilman R. Scott Phillips was the single vote against the SHD.
But I felt like it was just in the best interest of the community not to go this drastic this soon.
Despite taking an extra 2 weeks to consider the zone, residents say the decision was hasty.
There's no rush. It isn't like students are living on the street right now. Once it's done and they start being built or whatnot, it's pretty hard to undo it.
But in the end, the SHD won out.
We have to find a way to embrace the growth that is coming, but do it on our own terms.
Now that the City Council has voted, there's not much that residents can do, except for hope that their neighbor doesn't sell and they won't be living next to an apartment complex anytime soon. For SUTV News, I'm Grace Schultz.
Thanks for joining us today. I'm Matthew House.
And I'm Colton Warren.
And I'm Jenna Chapman. Make sure to tune in on Thursday for the sports show, Pardon Our Take. We leave you today with a promotional video from Delta Psi Omega's Philanthropy Week.